Happy Friday. I just wanted to do a quick live. This is the last area of my apartment that's completely put together. My desk. I'm gonna finish packing this weekend, and I move on to Wednesday. So let's do one last Friday night live in my current apartment, and I figured I would just do some doodling in my traveler's notebook weekly. Not really think too much. It's been a long couple of weeks, so please join me and let me know what you're up to. Let's see, today is May 26th. Let's start with last week so we can get ourselves caught up here. Hey Amber, happy Friday. How are you doing? Are you still at work? I was trying to I tried using an online thing to sell some of the stuff in my apartment, and it's been a nightmare with all these people messaging me. um, and then people like backing out at the last minute to buy my dining room table and chairs and all that. So that's what I was dealing with tonight. Someday you'll be not having to deal with working all the time and you can just chill. Someday. I have everything packed up, so the only things I don't have packed away in boxes is like my creative planner, traveler's notebook, this pencil case, my Hobonichi, and my planner and my Filofax planner. Everything else is sealed away in boxes ready to be moved. So no stamps, nothing. I did find a washi tape that was lodged behind my I forget what it was lodged behind when I was moving furniture. I somehow found a washi tape. This olive washi tape was behind a piece of furniture. I don't know how it got there or what scenario would have happened where a roll of washi tape would roll behind a cabinet. I have no idea, but I figured we can use the washi tape. So I don't have anything else, but this is it. And I'm just kind of so anxious and excited, but also nervous about the move. Like, I just want to get it done. I want Wednesday to come. I want to be able to load up the truck, drive down there, get my new apartment on Thursday, and then I'll be able to like breathe a sigh of relief. It's just the up until that moment it happens that you're kind of like on edge. I don't know if anyone else feels that way, but I do. It's like you just want to do it and move on. So you're slow today? Yeah, today, well, I mean, it's Memorial Day weekend, so I figured a lot of other people, like, there was very little traffic today, which was rare around here. Um, and I just noticed there weren't a lot, even when I went to get lunch at the office, there was, like, nobody else there. So it was kind of nice. I love when stuff's not crowded and traffic-y. And I'm one of those crazy people that I'll be happy to work Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve and the day before Thanksgiving and Black Friday, because usually it's quiet unless you work retail. Yeah, my planning, Amber, has been so bad. Like, I really just. Actually, where is my Filofax? I did take it to a cafe the other night. Let me go get that. I did take it so I could plan. So I did do some planning because I forgot to pack this and I found it after I sealed up all the boxes. So I was like, okay, well, I need to start using it to plan. But I've been finding myself just taking like a piece of paper and transferring what I wrote in my planner each day and just putting it on like a single piece of paper, and that's kind of helped me get things done. I don't know if that makes sense. So, also it feels weird that it's Memorial Day in May, right? Like, it feels weird that it's going to be June next week. There's just something about that that seems off. Till Death Do Us Art 8. You never catch the live, but you enjoy watching them after. Oh, Heather. I'm sorry. Now I see. Now I see Heather. Well, thank you for watching it after, Heather. I love that, and I'm glad you're actually able to catch us on a live. So if you have any questions or anything you want to share with the group, please do. Everyone's very nice here. What are you up to this weekend? I am actually hoping, like, I finished the bulk of my packing because I wanted this weekend to not be about packing. I want to just like have some fun. So I'll probably like go to an art museum tomorrow, just enjoy the weather, go for a walk, like the normal things that normal people do on the weekends. Normally I'm working a part-time job or doing stuff for my master's program or packing, but all that's done now. So I'm looking forward to this weekend. Like back planning. Oh, okay, yeah. There's just something about it. I'm hoping to get my planning mojo back when I move because I kind of have these lofty goals where instead of having a dining room in my apartment, I think I'm going to turn that into like my home office / desk area instead of having it like in a bedroom. I'm not sure. I'm going to wait till I get there and kind of like feel out the vibes. Because I live alone and I rarely use like I don't use my dining table for dining really. So I feel like it'd be better use of space. So we'll see. I'm definitely gonna post about that. I was like, oh, maybe I'll do like a video and then you all can give me suggestions about how I should set up my place. Because I feel like you've all been along with me on this journey of my move and career change, and so I'm always talking about it on live. So can't wait till next week. So Saturday the 20th, I graduate with my master's. Friday the 19th, we did a live. I went to Pennsylvania on, oh wait, no, when was Mother's Day? Yeah, my mom was here. Did I already draw that? No. Yeah, Mother's Day was the 14th, okay. Oh yeah, my mom, okay, I did draw my mom was here. I'm also thinking I don't have to draw exactly what I did that day. I can just draw what I feel like. Heather says you have an annual family crawfish boil. I think I've seen those on like TikTok, but I've never like been to one. Besides that, it's a slow weekend. Yeah, I think a slow weekend's a good idea. I think we all need to like just be able to have slowness once in a while. Okay, just kidding. Amber has a wedding to go to, so that's not going to be slow. Oh, are people still coming because it's a holiday weekend? And do you have to go far for it, or is it local? You're in Southeast Texas. Wow, I don't think I've ever been. I've only been to Texas once, and it was just for a conference, so I only stayed at the hotel and then I flew back out. What's your weather like in Southeast Texas? Okay, it's local to you. Well, then maybe you can just have a fun time. If you don't have to worry about traveling to it and you can just go to the wedding and have fun. I mean, hopefully it's not like one of those really formal weddings, but more of just like a fun thing to do. So maybe I'll draw the stage at graduation. Also, I have tons of messages I have to respond to. I haven't done any real really much on YouTube this week. Every night after work, I was taking things to be donated and packing and all that kind of stuff that I kind of just like put on the back burner, but that's what the weekend is for. Not at all formal. Her wedding dress is black. Oh, that's fun. I love when you can have a celebration or a wedding that's not like dry and it's just like a fun time. It's hot and humid in the mid 90s. Oh, Well, today here it was like absolutely perfect. It was like 72 degrees and sunny with a light breeze. It was just, but once, actually, well, I don't know. I won't be living here come Wednesday, but I'll be back up here for a few weeks. So it gets very humid here in DC in the summer. It's in the 80s. Oh, I guess it is heating up. I prefer not hot and humid weather. So I would say actually winter is my favorite time of year. So I'm just gonna draw. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to draw like people sitting down, like a podium. I don't really know. Like cat people, like a table. Oh wait, Heather, you emailed me, right? I saw that today. I just didn't get a chance to respond yet. Is that who I'm thinking of? I don't have my email in front of me because I'm using my phone, but I think you emailed me. I'm not able to access my. So I work in like a secret facility, and I can't use my. We can't have electronics and stuff. So when I'm at the office, I don't have my cell phone with me. I don't have my Apple Watch with me. Nothing. So I only check my email when I come out of the building, and I'm able to like quickly look. But then when I go back in, I can't like send emails. Oh, okay. So it was you. Okay, I'm gonna reply. I'm definitely gonna reply to you. It just took me a second to put two and two together. Yeah, I love winter. I'm one of those people that will. I'm happy to sit outside in a winter coat and just sit out in the winter when everyone else is running inside and just bundle up and just enjoy it. Let's see. I might just kind of just draw the outlines and not worry about it too much. And then I'm just gonna write graduation. Um, I'm gonna skip to this week too. Amber has a wedding. I don't even know the last time I've been. The last time I went to a wedding was I flew home. I flew from Moscow all the way here, all the way to Philly. I think it was 2017. Oh, let me get the book that I'm currently reading because I feel like on my lives I also talk about. We all talk about what we're reading and what we're watching. And I've been really loving this book. I just haven't had enough time. When I was running to the metro this morning, I always bring my book with me because if I miss the one train, I have a good 10, 15 minutes to the next train. So I was like, oh, that's 15 minutes of reading time. But today, the metro came exactly like as I walked in the station. So I was like, oh, I guess I couldn't read. But I'm going to get that book. You haven't been to a wedding since? Yeah, it's weird because like I can't imagine. There's certain things that I can't believe we did or didn't do for so long that it's just hard to imagine going back to that. Uh, so this is what I'm currently reading. It is called Night Shift by Kiari Ladner. And when I read books, when I pick out books to read, I literally just walk in a bookstore and read the covers and the first page, and that's how I make all my reading decisions. So last time, the night before graduation, I think I went to Barnes and Noble because I won an award and they gave me like a really big gift card. So I was making a list of fun books I want to read once graduation and everything's over, and I added this to my list. And it is about a girl in London. I want to say it's the late 90s or maybe it's like the year 2000. Um, she moves from South Africa to London to kind of just like explore her, adolescence, like try a new life or whatever. And she becomes obsessed with this coworker of hers who's like a really like mysterious woman who is like, we all know there's people in life that you're always like, you want to be friends with them because they're so cool and different and mysterious. And she like is just one of, yeah, so she becomes like obsessed with her and she's building this obsession. She changes her job so she can be on the night shift to work alongside this girl that she's obsessed with. And it's pretty good. So I'm more than halfway through and I wonder what kind of direction it's going to go, but it just highlights a lot of things I think that some people struggle with and they want to fit in. Like, for example, when she starts hanging out with the people on the night shift at the office who are a bunch of just like alternative, artistic, ragamuffin, all have good backstories, like alternative crowd, she says she finally feels like she's free because she's hanging out with these kind of people for the first time in her life. And it's just a very like, there's like a camaraderie. But yeah, the whole obsession thing, I don't know which direction it's going to go, but this is a great book. I wonder if this is her first. Okay, she does short stories and anthologies. That's on BBC Radio 4. This is her first novel. Okay. And it came out in 2021. But yeah, so that's how I pick my books. There's no rhyme or reason. Oh, Eamon's here. Good morning. Are you having breakfast? And what's the weather like in Indonesia? Maybe I'm gonna draw the sun since it was really sunny at graduation. There was something funny I wanted to tell you all that happened. Oh, well, it wasn't funny. It was just disappointing. So today, I lent a good pen to someone at a work site I was at, and my brain was all over the place, and I didn't get it back. I had to sign a paper that she gave me. I signed it. She needed to make a correction, so she asked to take my pen to circle the correction. It was a Lamy, what was it? A Lamy, it's the metal ballpoint. I guess that's the logo. I know I have another one somewhere, but I keep that on my lanyard at work because it's like a nice pen and I use it all the time. And it didn't hit me till like I left the site and I was back at the office. It's like, oh my gosh, I actually did the unspeakable deed of letting someone else use one of my expensive nice pens and now I don't have it back. Now I probably will see her again before I leave permanently, but they're moving their office, so she probably tossed that pen in with her other pens, and I will never see it again. But we all talk about how we don't want to lend people our pens. I normally don't do it. I always have an expensive pen to give to people if they want to write, and I accidentally did it today, and I regretted it, but c'est la vie. You do book swaps. If it's something I trade with a friend for books she likes. She liked. Okay, yeah, that's awesome. It's mostly fantasy, mythical, or magical. Okay. I don't think I read much of fantasy, mythical, or magical. My one friend at the university, she's really into that stuff, and I think she even wrote. She didn't do her master's thesis about it, but she follows all these like series and is in all these groups and all that, which I think is awesome. I do like dystopian stuff, so maybe I don't know if that falls under the category. It's definitely not magical or mythical, but like that dystopian kind of thing. You have two separate. Yes, Your work pen's at a nice, yes. Don't ever give your nice pen to anyone. Just don't do it unless it's like your spouse that you're living with and you can hunt them down. But I don't know what came over me. I should have just been like, I don't know. And then I thought I left my sunglasses there too. So clearly my mind was like off today. So that's okay. But yeah, it's like the golden rule. I think that's the stationary golden rule. Don't give anyone your pen. Oh, I don't know if I shared the other news. So wait, I drove up to Philly on Monday, Tuesday. So my beloved fish, Anne Marie, she did not make it. She passed away on the 16th. I don't know if I talked about it last week. I was transferring her to live at my parents'. I had everything ready for her. I had her travel tank, all that stuff. She rode up in the car. I checked on her. I took really good care of my fish. I had her for a year and a half. She was born in the tank. She lived her whole life there. It was in her best interest to set up the tank at my parents' house and they could have the fish. And she didn't survive the first night. Everything was okay. Had everything ready, set it up, put it in. I woke up on Tuesday morning and she was laying on top of the live plant that's in there. So she lived a very good life. I was a bit sad, but at least, it happened the way that it did because she would have had to move to Tennessee with me. And then I actually am leaving, so I'm moving next week, but then I'm coming back here for 3 weeks, and then I'm traveling for 3 weeks. So I would have been away for 6 weeks. That's why it just wasn't possible to have a pet during that time. So let's draw a little Anne Marie memorial. Yeah. So that's the end of the fish saga. And I think I told the story about how I had bought fish and Anne Marie was born. The moment I brought the fish home, they gave birth in my tank because they give live birth, this type of fish. And I was not at all prepared to have fish babies. But she survived a year and a half, so she was happy. Okay, let me get on comments. I'm sorry. Yeah, I was like, my poor Lamy, like, I have another one, so don't get me wrong. Of course, I have more than one Lamy, but this was, I forget which pen it was, and I wish it was a ballpoint. It wasn't a fountain pen, but yeah. And I think I bought that one in Germany somewhere. I think when I was in Dresden or something last time. So I was like disappointed in myself, but it could be worse, right? I have to keep things in perspective. So rest in peace, Anne Marie. And she was featured in some of my vlogs, so she did enjoy her life. Okay. So what else is going on in everyone's lives? What's new and exciting? Or not exciting? Does anyone plan on switching up their planning now that summer's coming? Like, I don't know if some of you, like, especially if you have kids that are school age, like, do you do your planning based off of the school year, like August to June or September to June, or do you have like a calendar year planner? Because I know if you go to like like Target and Staples and stuff. In a couple months, I'll have like the academic year planners, and I'm wondering if I still have to figure out what I'm doing. My planning's just not going well, but that's okay. You're disappointed you can't get the TN Olive. You plan to buy the brass ballpoint. Would you like to review it for me before I buy it? Yeah, so I have, it's not with me, but I have the limited edition ballpoint pen. It's brass, but it's blue coated. I think I might have shown it in one of my lives. Um, and I love it, except I love the feel of it and everything, but the actual pen refill is too thin for me. Um, so on one of my lives, I want to do like a pen hack where we like go through some other pen ink cartridges and I cut it down so it fits in the Travelers Company brass pen. So that's also on my list. In fact, if it's not written on my list, let's add it right now. I think we talked about it before where I want to do like a pen hack. Whoops. Pen hack for Travelers. Ooh, this is not, I think this is dried up. Travelers Company brass pen ballpoint. Wait, why can't you get the Olive? Is it because they're still sold out? I think, I haven't looked to be honest, but I have a feeling they're probably still sold out. If blank is a word, yes, there you go, Heather. That is the best way to have perspective. I'm like, and as after it happened, I was thinking, I was like, oh, I guess I'm gonna have to tell people on the live tonight that I had a pen faux pas. So it makes a good story. I also want to do a review of a TWSBI fountain pen. That's on my list to buy because I've been wanting to try one of those. I get really nervous with refilling fountain pens that aren't cartridge or just standard cartridges. So like the whole piston converter TWSBI, that makes me so nervous. With anything that involves like a little wrench or tool, I'm nervous. So if anyone watching uses a TWSBI and you feel confident in it, please let me know because I would love to get one to try solely so it doesn't dry out as fast and it has more ink in it. That's also on my list. And there was something else. What else did we want to do on a live? I have it jotted down. We want to do like an everyday carry versus a. Let me see. I know I have it written here somewhere. I'll have to look. But someone suggested we do like an everyday carry journaling. Whoops. Versus like having a cafe journal session. So we'll just write everyday carry journaling versus like having like a more robust journaling. And I'm going to be making a video at some point this weekend. I don't know when it'll get edited and posted, but I need to record the video before I move, about my long form journaling, which is different than the traveler's notebook style of kind of doodling and filling up and all that. Long form journaling is when you're truly just writing about stuff that explores like maybe something you have going on psychologically, emotionally, all that kind of stuff. So I've been doing that a lot lately and it's definitely helped. Just spending 10 minutes a day writing one page, it's been fun. So you learn a lot about yourself, that's for sure, when you write. Your planning has been a priority. You've been keeping up with more creative. Yeah, but if you're keeping up with creative art and journaling, that's awesome. I mean, at least you're doing something, right? But I feel like I need to find a better balance, and I'm not there yet. Olive sold out everywhere, of course. Travelers Company really just, they have an A+ marketing team. They know how to make something that everyone wants to buy and then it sells out. Of course they do. But you know, a year from now, I'm sure the olive will kind of be like so standard that I don't think it'll sell out, or maybe they'll probably introduce a new color. That's what they'll do. Maybe I'll draw a bubble. Yeah. When I was talking to my sister when she was here about planning, she kind of was just like, well, I think I have this mentality where I have to make a planner and use it to a T and make everything like use it religiously and be like, okay, this is what I'm using for the whole year. But she was pointing out the reality is you can always just try something for a week and not use it. You don't have to like commit yourself. And I don't know why I have that mentality where it's like, well, if I'm gonna open this planner, I better use the whole thing and I better really love it. But if you open it and start using it, you don't love it. Why force yourself to keep using it if it's not working for you? I feel like I could also make a video about things in the stationary YouTube community that are like sometimes problematic, whether it's people doing things just for to make money off of them, or they make everything look perfect and use filters and they're not showing the reality of it. I think there's a lot of downside to any creative community online. Like I'm sure there's all these things about, you know, beauty influencers and makeup YouTube and all that stuff, but there's also those kind of issues I think in stationary YouTube. And I would like to look into that because I feel like a lot of people don't want to record themselves making like their planner and stuff because they don't think it's good enough compared to some of the professional, and I'm using quotes for that, looking stuff that there is. And I feel like that kind of hinders the creativity of people. So I don't know. I'm still working this out in my brain, so forgive me if I sound like I'm not making sense, but it's just one of those things that would be good to maybe address. Okay, Miss Angela, hello Angela, happy Friday. In Houston, you had it in stock yesterday, but you bought there, but they have a $10 price hike. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me, but at least they had it. What's it called? Drumgoolus? That's an interesting. Is that like Dutch? It sounds Dutch to me. Um, Heather loves Twisby pens. You were nervous about all the extra stuff. That's what freaks me out when I saw one in person at the pen show with the little wrench and all the different things. I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to do that. Okay, you rarely need the tools. Okay, so that's on my list. The Twisby, I think it's the Eco is the one that I wanted to try. Um, and when I was at the stationery store near where I currently live for the Travelers Company stamp caravan, which was a couple of videos back if you want to go watch it, um, I held a Twisby Eco because they had them in the stores because I wanted to touch it before I would order one online. And I did like it. It felt good to me, so I was like, okay, I'll definitely get one. But I wasn't buying it from that store because the people at that store are incredibly rude and I don't give my money to them anymore. The only reason I went there was because they had the stamp caravan. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna go. But I would rather spend my money at places that appreciate you, um, whether it's online or in person, versus places that are just like rude to you. Yeah, and Angela, was the store you went to in Houston, is it in person? Like it's a has a storefront? In person. I guess has a storefront is the better verbiage to use. I just realized I drew the graduation on the wrong date. I drew it on Sunday, but it was really a Saturday. That's okay. Online and storefront, okay. Yeah, and sometimes I feel like some art supply stores sometimes carry stationary stuff and it might not be as sold out as other stores. Like, has anyone ever ordered from St. Louis Art Supply? I think that's what it's called. Because their ads pop up on my phone all the time, but I've never ordered from them. But when I click their ads, they carry a lot of Japanese stationery, not just art supplies. Oh, small family. Oh, well, that's nice. I definitely like shopping at those kind of places. All right, we're gonna skip to this week because I can't remember what I did last week. Ugh. Okay. Oops. Okay, so I'm just drawing my cat who is doing some more packing. And also, anyone, let me know if there's something you would like to do in a live stream because I realize all I really do is work in my traveler's notebook and chat. And I love the chatting part, but some people might not like the working in the traveler's notebook and they want to see something else. So I'm open to ideas if anyone has any things they want to see or do like together. Because sometimes I would love to do like a 30-minute live journal with me, and then at the end of the 30 minutes, everyone shares what they did in those 30 minutes. Like something like that would be cool. Um, okay, so Angela says she loves that I'm okay with skipping days. I had a small breakdown because I couldn't feel. Yes. I'll show you because I think I talked about that. I might have done a catch-up video or we did a catch-up live. I can't remember. Sometimes I do the catch-up ones where I was feeling stressed that I was not feeling each day. And I talked about it before where in my Hobonichi Cousin, this is how my cat comic was born. I started doing it in the Hobonichi Cousin Avec last year. But I felt so much pressure from the size of the page that I was just frozen. And I felt like I couldn't fill up an A5 page with drawing more than one thing I did that day. Like I started to draw two things I did that day, whether my cat went to the office and went out to dinner or whatever, but then it just felt like too much on that big page. which is why I switched to doing it in this weekly doodle, because I felt like this small size was less, I don't know, scary. So as you can see, I went back and sometimes I just doodled one thing, put some washi tape, did a drawing that take up 3 days. Same thing, did a big drawing, just put some more washi tape, was generic. Like, I was not trying to, because it's supposed to be fun, right? So looking back, I don't need to look back and see something every single day. I would just like to see something, whether you put a sticker on the day or you spread it out over 2 days, and you can leave your blank days and come back and do the fill-in later. And maybe set yourself a timer. Like, say, okay, I am spending 30 minutes and I want to get fully caught up to today's date, whether it's putting a piece of washi tape on there, drawing a heart, like whatever it is. So you can see, like, this week I only drew one thing. It's when I had to wrap books for the blind date with the book thing. That was like a big memory of that week for me. So I just took a stamp. I took a whole washi tape for one day. I just put a single sticker, another sticker. I used a stamp to spell the word create. I took another German sticker. And when I look back now, this page still feels nice to me. Like, it gives me happy memories. I felt like it was a nice way to fill my page. And I don't feel stressed that it does not look like, let's go to a week where I did, like, it doesn't look like this where I did draw something for every single day. They both have their own spark in them that makes me happy. So I feel like fighting that, Angela, is a common thing. It's like you kind of feel like you have to do it, and it might take some time, but yeah, it feels so much better to just not do it. Just put a sticker on a day and, like, move on, you know? Like, for this, all I could think of are those 2 days, those 2 things. Now, maybe I will go back and draw another one, but maybe that's it, and the rest are just going to be washi tape and stickers, you know? Same thing with what I use on the right. My goal was to do writings or drawings about what I'm reading or consuming or doing something creative on here on the right side. Like, I wrote about this book I read. We painted one of the books I read. Some days are blank, as you can see. But I kind of like that. So I just simply, the Gina Davis book that I read, I just put 5 stars next to it. And that's it. This is blank. Maybe I'll come back later and write more about it, or a different book. It doesn't have to have anything profound. This one I did the same thing. I just wrote some stuff, stickers, washi tape, stamps, and only actually drew for 3 days. So, okay, Heather has to jump out. It's family dinner time. Ooh, that sounds good. Enjoy your dinner, and everyone have a good night at Heather's house. Yes, Angela, sometimes just put in a single sticker. Like, I just put a coffee sticker and a coffee washi tape. And I just put, like, this week I drank a lot of coffee, and it made me happy. And for example, I did want to try this washi tape that I found when I was moving furniture. I really have no idea how a single thing of washi tape ended up behind, like, a cabinet. Oh, do I not have scissors at all? I do. Like I said, everything's pretty much packed up, so we are just working with what we got. I might go down the whole page, but maybe I might do it in the center. And I also have to get caught up on everyone's videos. I am just... Actually, I'm being nice to myself. I'm in the middle of moving and doing all those other things, so I feel like it's okay that I'm behind on videos. I will watch them eventually. Okay, we put that olive washi tape on there. That is a nice olive. This is the MT brand, and I probably got it at, like, Kinokuniya or something like that. Okay. see what's in my pencil case. Do I have anything else that we could use? Just some pens I found while I was cleaning up and getting ready to move. This is actually from Zebra. This is one of the probably the first, not first, yeah, probably one of the first online like stationery purchases I made from Tokyo Pen Shop like 10 years ago. This is the Zebra Gymnoc, which I don't know if they make this pen anymore. I just like it. It has like a rounded top, and this one writes in red. And then fountain pen. Okay, I do have some washi. This one I got in LA. You actually use a lot of washi tape when you move, because I was labeling different things with washi tape, so definitely has its function. Then I even found this charm that was hanging on my tripod, the Traveler's Notebook charm. And then yeah, this is the stuff from Erin Condren. And this is, that's it. And I have sticky notes. Oh, and I think I talked about this mini pen that I found. So that's what we have to work with until we unpack. And I'm not gonna have a desk at my new place until I go out and figure out what I'm gonna do when I get there and buy one. So I still am gonna try to do some sort of live next week. Well, actually, let's talk about that. I don't know when I'm gonna have internet yet at my new place. I've been playing phone tag with a guy that installs the internet, so there's a good chance that this time next Friday I will not have internet. But maybe I will try to do something else. Because the whole finishing my master's and moving and all that stuff, setting up the new internet was kind of like put on the back burner. I was like, that's the least of my worries. So I realize now I should have tried working on that sooner, but I had other deadlines that I truly had no choice for. You're never a washi person, but yeah, I was never, like, I understand the appeal of decorating with washi, but the truth be told, I use washi tape more for like utilitarian purposes. I use it to label all my stuff in the kitchen. I use it to seal envelopes. I even use washi tape. I have a bunch of like shelves that fold up. When I was packing furniture, I took washi tape to wrap around the shelves so they don't fall, and then things that I have with drawers, I put washi tape all over the fronts of the drawers so the drawers don't slide open when you lift the piece of furniture. And I travel a lot for work, and I have washi tape on my suitcase. So I take different washi tape and make like a little cutout and put it on my suitcase, so when it comes through the conveyor belt at baggage claim, I know that the suitcase that has washi tape on it is mine. So there really are a million uses for it. But it is one of those things that kind of, once you start buying them, it's kind of like stickers where you just get addicted, and every time you see a fun one, you just buy more and more. But I don't know. I feel like you get your money's worth. And then whenever I have washi tape on something, on an envelope or on whatever, people will ask me. They'll be like, "Oh, I really like that masking tape that was on there," or whatever, So it's just one of those things. Yeah, I'm telling you, I've had washi tape on my suitcase probably for like 5 or 6 years at this point, because I used to always have a fun or funky luggage tag that was like a real bright color, or it had a picture of like something just bizarre on it, because then when it would come off the conveyor belt, I know it would be mine. But luggage tags get ripped off easily, and I've lost so many that I was like, well, let's just put some washi tape on the side of the suitcase, and that's how that was born. I do have some other little things in my Hobonichi, but no, I don't have any stamps or anything. All that stuff's packed away. I will tell you that when you pack through all your stuff, especially all your stationery stuff and your journals and notebooks and all that, you really are like taking a walk down memory lane and also rethinking about some of the stuff you do. Because as I was going through my stuff, things that I forgot I had, I was already thinking, wow, I would have really been happy using this or using that more or whatever. So that could be a whole video topic. I talk about like the consumerism of stationary YouTube, which is hard because I love seeing hauls and I love seeing what people buy and order and all that. But then it's like, unless you're a millionaire, you can't always buy everything. Okay, I put my charm on the pencil case so I won't forget it for when I move. And then I found, these are one of the, I took one of these when I went apartment hunting in Knoxville. I had one of these in my jeans pocket. That way when I go through different apartments or like taking notes or whatever, these are perfect for that. Always love me some Kokio. I still think Kokio paper is the number one out of all paper that there is. I have a very strong opinion about that. And then I found this. This is from Life. This is a, how do you call it? Like a stenographer, a steno book. I bought this probably in Tokyo. And I was like, I should start using this for when I have to go measure furniture and bring my notebook and all that stuff. So I forgot I had this. And then I think I saw it on, there's a stationery website that I do want to make an order from, where I'm probably going to order my TWSBI from. And I think he had these. And I was like, huh, so that is a Japanese thing. And then I had to look closely, and it's Life. So what else? So what's everyone watching? Anyone watching anything good right now? I think I'm done drawing for the day. Oh no, let's finish coloring this in so we don't leave it uncolored. Oh boy, okay. Hopefully Amber doesn't have to work too much more tonight. Hopefully Brian's dog is okay. What else? What other major updates did we have? Hopefully Marilyn is. What was she doing? They were building something for a retirement home, right? Sorry, I forget. We talked about it. They were doing something. So she's been busy doing construction stuff. And then I also realized that this is like the Avec, right? So this actually ends at the end of June. So I gotta find the second half of, if you can believe it, the first half of the year is almost done. Yeah. Is it weird I'm already looking forward to like 2024 because I want to figure out if I want to get a new Hobonichi or anything for 2024 already? I don't know. Let's say the 26th, so let's get some tape for live and say we went live. Wait, today's Friday, sorry. You're excited for 2024. Your best friend, you're gonna go to Japan? Oops. And I spelled YouTube wrong, so that's how that's going. Have you been to Japan before, Angela? Ooh, the Sailor ink is smearing under the colored pencils. Whoops. Live and learn. Were you planning for somebody to find? But first of all, it's gonna be amazing, and I don't know exactly where you're going. I don't know if you're going to Tokyo. I don't know if you're going to Kyoto, wherever you're going, but um, it's gonna be amazing. And the funny thing about Japan is it kind of like ruins travel everywhere else for you because it's just so clean and functional and just interesting everywhere you go there that like when you go to other places you're like, oh, I miss Tokyo or whatever. At least that's in my opinion. When people ask me, so I travel extensively for my job, and when people ask me what's my most favorite place I've ever been, I always tell them excluding Japan. So I'll be like, okay, well, I'm gonna remove Japan from the list because I feel like it doesn't really compete with other places. And then I usually tell them like Armenia was my most favorite place to be. Um, yeah, that's how great it is. So, and obviously it is a stationary haven. It'll be the best stuff you'll find. I remember I went to like a stationary cafe in Tokyo. I don't know if it's still there. Um, I'm sure it is, and if there's not other ones, but I had the best time. Um, the staff, this is like what, 7 years, 6 or 7 years ago? Um, the staff and I bonded over Hobonichis, even though we barely spoke each other's language. But like they got so excited when I told them I knew what a Hobonichi Tesho was. I showed them mine or whatever because like I guess they didn't know like Americans order them from Japan or whatever. So um, it was just it was one of those weird like moments that you're while the moment is happening, you're like, this is so cool, and this kind of moment will never happen again. And like last 2 minutes, you know. So it was a very cool experience. I don't know if there's a name for those kind of moments, but I feel like I've had a few of them, and yeah. Ireland, Ireland is. I really was supposed to go to Ireland this spring, but I just couldn't take off from my part-time job, so it just didn't happen. Um, you went to New York for the first time 3 years ago? That's awesome. I'll tell you, travel is the best thing to spend your money on. Um, I'm going in a different direction because I've spent my 20s and 30s traveling extensively, that now I'm not doing that anymore. I'm actually quote unquote settling down and more staying like in more than one place. Um, but for me, that's what, like, I already got to do the travel thing, so I'm not like bummed that I got to miss it. Because some people say, oh, when I'm retired, I'll do all that traveling. It's like, well, first of all, when you're retired, you're not going to have the most energy always. You can't like rely on what your life's going to be like in 20 or 30 years, right? So anyway, I am pro travel. I am pro travel anywhere. I hate when people say like, if they ask you like, oh, where are you going, and you say like a random city, and they like, oh, that's so boring, or oh, that's not that fun, is it? And it's like, only boring people get bored. So I will go to any town in any state. I will bring my traveler's notebook and journal. I will find a cool coffee shop. I will go to a weird museum or a public library or a trail and take pictures and talk to strangers. And to me, like, that's what traveling is. It doesn't have to be only going to like Paris or really, well known places. Like, some of the best trips I've had have been to small towns that aren't known for tourism at all. So, just like when work wants to send me places, I'm like so eager to go. They're like, oh, can you go to blah, blah, blah? I'm like, sure, I'll go because I'll have fun. And some people are like, oh, I don't want to go there. That's like a boring town. My only tips for Japan, I remember that there was an issue. I actually pre-ordered like a Wi-Fi card that you put in your backpack, and it gives you Wi-Fi, because connecting to Wi-Fi in Japan used to be really problematic. You basically had to have like a Japanese email address, and also getting cash from ATMs. You could really only use ATMs at 7-Eleven, and I think back then cash was, which wasn't that long ago, but it was surprising to us that most places like only took cash, which you would think, Japan being like a super high tech society, would be all cards, 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 but the reality was they still liked cash at places. Oh, I'm 36 too. You didn't fully start traveling out of Texas. Hey, you at least you're doing it. That's awesome. Plus, it's got to be a long flight for you to fly from like Texas to Europe, right? I kind of grew up um, lucky, where I live less than 2 hours from New York City and less than 2 hours from Washington, D.C. So I got to go basically on day trips all the time when I was in high school. Um, so I was kind of spoiled in that regard. Yeah, I would love to go to Ireland. I don't think I have. There's a few. So Ireland's on my bucket list. What's the other place I wanted to go to? Um, I've always wanted to go to Namibia. That's like my ultimate bucket list place. Um, I wanted to go to Hong Kong, but that's not gonna happen. And I would love to go to Taiwan. But yeah, I pretty much got to go everywhere I wanted to go. And if you're going to Japan with your friend, that'll be even more fun. Although I guess Japan might be a lot different than it was 6 years ago, like after the pandemic and everything. But I don't know. I've never met someone who went to Japan and didn't love it, so let that be your measuring stick. Okay, so we only drew a few of our days here, but that is a-okay. Um, I might go back and I might draw some more. I might just take a stamp or stickers and put them in the days, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. We doodled, we're creating like a life book, right? Just supposed to be fun. Although now I'm thinking maybe we'll draw that novel real quick that we're reading, which I'm only halfway, but so this is Night Shift. Okay. Whoops. Ooh, I'm so bad at drawing, especially people. This is so bad. My gosh, it looks okay. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh my gosh, it got worse. Okay. It was getting worse the more that I went. Oh my goodness, I don't know if you can see it. Let me just zoom in for funsies. That I was trying to draw this like shadow of a face, right? And that's what how do I fix this? Do I just put oh my goodness, do I just put washi tape over it? Clearly I'm not an artist. So there's that. Let's take some washi. I'm gonna put some washi tape over this. Banani, you wanted to join the live chat, but you missed the boat. I wanted to know if people outside the channel outside their state. You're still here. We're still live. The thing about Texas is it's so big. I think I'm just gonna cut some washi tape. Yeah, see, I love the doodling aspect of it, especially when I started my cat comic. That's what inspired all this. I think I draw the cat guy because I cannot draw people, so I want to draw a journal of my life, but from the eyes of the cat, because I can actually draw a cat and I can't draw a person. So this is so bad. We're just gonna. Oh, you can still see it through the washi tape. Anyway. I'm excited to keep reading this book. And then there's two more Japanese books that are on my list that seemed really cool. I took pictures of them, so hopefully I'll finish this one and be able to buy the next one. Night Shift. Does anyone keep like a reading journal? I know I've been wanting to do a commonplace book for the longest time, and that's been on my list, but I just haven't been able to do it because I use, for my master's program, I use Notion to categorize and track all of my like academic projects that I was working on and all my notes and all that kind of stuff that like as much as I wanted to use a notebook, a physical notebook, a commonplace book, it would have just taken so much more time to organize the research project I was doing on a notebook, because when it's connected to the cloud, I can do it on campus, I can do it in the lab, like all that kind of stuff. It was just not realistic, I guess, but I would still love to do some kind of commonplace book. Yeah, in Texas, I mean, I think when I went to Dallas, I had a high school friend who was living in, was it Houston or something? And I just remember like looking at the map and it was like wherever it was like you had to fly there. That's how big Texas is. To go to like the next city, you have to fly. So I didn't get to see her, but that's okay. Because I was actually flying to London and then to Russia from there. Or no, I flew to Italy. I don't know. I flew from London to Dallas once. On British Airways. Oh yeah, could have. It also could be my internet connection too. I noticed on the last live, and I'm not noticing it tonight, that my picture was grainy. It wasn't good quality image, but for tonight it looks okay. So I don't know what's going on with YouTube or if it's my internet. Um, so I usually go live at around 8 or 9 p.m. on Fridays. Sometimes I make a YouTube reminder, sometimes I don't. Like today was just too chaotic that I just didn't. That live schedule might change once I start my new job and move next week, but I think doing the lives is a lot of fun because I get to talk to you all and hear what's up in your lives, and it's just fun. Because I would love to be able to like hang out in person with someone and like journal together, but it's hard to find those kind of people in your immediate surroundings. So we just do this on YouTube instead. Night Shift by Kiari Ladner. And now that I'm looking at it, I realize I lost my place. Okay, I was on part 4. Okay, good. Whew. Oh yeah, I did have it folded here. And there was a quote I wanted to copy from it into my traveler's notebook. So I used to keep a journal of like different quotes, like a quotes journal when I was younger. And I used to tag in the book, like the part of the text that like really struck me, but I forgot to do it as I was reading this. Oh yeah, this paragraph about how she's describing all of the different people that she met on her night shift. Inside, I looked at Sabine in her schoolgirl lace-ups, checkered shorts, and velvet blazer. Lizard, an old-time rocker in his skinny jeans and leather jacket. Earl, with his sharp rave style and Conyo sleeping peacefully at his feet. Prawn, moon-faced but energetically punky. Even Sherry, with her ill-conceived glamour, seemed childishly endearing, like a messy 3-year-old. I'd found the tribe I wanted to join. We were totally, utterly free. So I just like that, how she's describing this like collection of strangers she met at work, and for the first time she's feeling like she's herself. So that is a nice sentiment. Let's tag that and write it down later. So I'm gonna come back and maybe write a little bit about this book. Okay. Oh, your commonplace book quickly turned into character insight on Dungeons and Dragons fight. Well, that is kind of, what a commonplace book is for, right? You're like, it's something that you're working and you're developing. So I feel like that totally makes sense. I was hoping to make a video like last year about making an academic commonplace book so I could organize like my research project that I was doing and everything, but it just didn't materialize. I used to be against using certain technology and certain software. I'm like, no, I'm going to do this the old school way. I'm going to handwrite my notes and all that kind of stuff. But as I was doing my thesis project and carrying out my study, I realized I needed to lean into the software that just makes things more easier to manage, like Zotero, Notion, RefWorks, like all those softwares. If anyone's done anything like in academia, I just decided to jump on the bandwagon and start using them, and I'm glad that I did. But in my head, I would much rather use like a nice notebook to write all of my stuff in, but it just wasn't. Like it works against you in some ways, I guess you could say. You live in New Zealand. My friend just moved there for work, like literally this week. You don't know anybody that journals or loves stationery. Yes, we actually have someone who comes on our channel a lot, who's in New Zealand. I, I is it Squibble Design? I know we have someone from Wellington that comes on our lives sometimes if she catches us. Um, if you're watching this, go ahead and comment below if you're watching the replay. But I know because we talked about New Zealand in one of my lives when I found out that my coworker, well, she's not my coworker anymore. She was getting assigned to Wellington, and she was getting to fly there. So I'm sure it's beautiful there. Although it's wintertime there, right? Right now. I would love to go to New Zealand or Australia or anything like that, but that is just too long of a flight from here. Unless I was in business class, I don't think I could do it anymore. When I was younger, I probably could have, but not now. Maybe I'll just write, we were totally, utterly free. Oops, I think I'm too zoomed in. Sorry if I was too zoomed in. So that's pretty much it for me tonight. This weekend I'm gonna just not have an agenda because the past year has been nonstop of like constantly doing stuff and traveling for work, and I just need to not think about that stuff. So maybe I will go to a Smithsonian museum tomorrow. I would love to do a little bit of long form journaling at like a cafe or something. I'm not sure how crowded everything's going to be this weekend it's a holiday here in the US on Monday. So it's like the start to summer kind of weekend. So everyone's always out doing stuff. But we shall see. I think she moved to. Where's the embassy? It would be Wellington, wouldn't it? Isn't that the capital? I'm really bad with. I'm pretty sure she's in Wellington because I had an old coworker years ago who left for Wellington from where we were living, and I just remember it was so interesting because when we move, we have like our furniture and stuff that comes with us, and he couldn't take his furniture because of the type of wood that it was made from. Because I guess for environmental reasons in New Zealand, you have to worry about stuff being filled with like insects or termites, or I forget what it was, but he had to have his stuff like in quarantine for 6 months or something. I just remember there's a lot of discussion about if you get assigned to New Zealand and you have, all those rules. I don't know what they call it. It's winter, but it's winter. It hasn't been raining much. Does it get really cold there in the winter time? I wasn't sure if it's kind of like mild weather. And my washi tapes got stuck to each other. I can't believe I left a Lamy pen and I gave it to someone. I didn't get it back today. What a tragedy. Wellington. Wellington's an 8-hour drive from Auckland. I guess that's not too far. That's still pretty far. Have you ever gotten to go to the U.S.? I guess, you know, it's just a long flight. Okay. Yeah, if I forget if the person from New Zealand, if you rewatch this live, go ahead and comment below, because then you guys could, you know, we could do like a New Zealand thing. And if you have any suggestions for any kind of live stream you want to, any kind of suggestions of any kind of live stream you would like to have, even if you can't make the actual live, but you would like to journal along with it later, please let me know. Because I just love this, and I want to make sure I'm doing things that you all actually want to do too. I also have so many different ideas and so many fun things I would love to do. I just wish I didn't have to work and I could just spend all day like doing these fun things and creating stuff and learning how to edit videos better and all that. I just can only do so much. Maybe if I win the lottery or something, then we can do that, but Wellington's the capital. Okay, yeah, I thought so. Yeah, I couldn't believe how strict the customs were. It was crazy. There was the thing with how they couldn't take their furniture. I don't know if my coworker took. I'm assuming the one that just went. She has like a little dog. I'm assuming she was able to take her dog. Yeah, that's really hardcore. We always have weird, at my job, we always have weird customs issues in general just because of how it's set up. But I know I had a coworker who shipped, we were overseas and he had his motorcycle shipped, but he shipped it as, it wasn't a motorcycle, it was like a dirt bike. But he shipped it as part of his household goods. And while it was shipping at one of the receiving points, they discovered that there was a motorbike in the household goods boxes, which I guess is like it's against customs laws because you're not supposed to ship things that are vehicles as, I don't know. And they had to like send all of his stuff back on a ship, and it took an extra like 9 months for him to get his stuff because, I mean, it's his fault. Like they explicitly say don't put a dirt bike or anything like that in as a household item because it breaks all these customs rules. And then even there was another thing when my boss left one time. I was helping her pack. There's laws about alcohol, so she had to like mark on the bottles of alcohol where the last alcohol was, and they measure it, and you can only have a certain number of milliliters that gets shipped as part of a custom. It's a weird, like, all these weird rules we used to have to follow, which now that I'm not living that life anymore, I don't have to follow and worry about those things. But I guess it makes a fun story to figure those things out. You've been to Hawaii. You fought the whole time. Well, that's not what you're supposed to do in Hawaii. I'm sure it was beautiful. See, I don't ever want to go to Hawaii because I live on the East Coast, so flying to Hawaii is farther than going to Europe. So if I had to pick going to Europe versus Hawaii, I would choose Europe in a heartbeat because it's only a 7-hour flight to go there, but it would be more than that to go to Hawaii. So I'm sure it's beautiful, and I would love to see a volcano and a dolphin and all that stuff, but I would rather go to Frankfurt, to be honest. So we're just packing up our traveler's notebook. I am going to note for live video ideas to ask you all if there's anything you would like to see. So live video. ideas. So if you're watching this later, you have an idea, do not be afraid to share it. This fountain pen is just really being weird today. My goodness. I think it's just dried up. But I don't have any cartridge or anything. All those things are packed away in boxes till I move. So we're just going to use what we have. Alrighty. So we did some doodling. We didn't fill up our week, but that is a-okay. Everyone should do what they want in life and be happy. No judgment here. So, to recap, thank you for joining me tonight on this live. If you watch this, please comment below what else you would like to see, or if you're fine and you like journaling along while I'm rambling about my coworker or the fact that I did this or that. And I'm gonna try to have a live next weekend, but it will depend if I'm able to have internet or not. So my new apartment, I have no internet set up, and I don't know if I'm going to get it set up in time for a Friday Night Live, let alone next weekend. So bear with me. Maybe I'll just pop on to say hi if I can stream without internet, like on my data plan. Or if I'm able to somehow go somewhere that has Wi-Fi in my building or whatever. I'm not sure how that's going to work. But I was also hoping to do a live sometime this weekend during the daytime. That way our friends in Europe might be able to join when it's evening time for them. So I might pop on tomorrow or Sunday morning, probably Sunday morning or Monday morning. So if you're around and you see me pop on, please stop in to say hi. And yeah, let me check the last messages here. Yeah, they check everything. Yeah, it's the bugs and insects. Because if one of those bugs gets in, I guess it messes up the ecosystem and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's the right thing to do. But I guess people try to skirt customs all the time. I know I see all these articles. One time there was like a woman who like tried to bring in like snake eggs, and they try to smuggle parrots in, like all that kind of stuff. It's just wild. It really is. Hawaii was amazing, but the company was not. Okay, well, in all fairness, now you know next time you should just go without your sister. Unless she's going to pay for your trip, you can just go by yourself and enjoy all of the rainbows and pineapples and, nice weather and all that stuff. Oh boy. So, all right, well, I hope you all have a good weekend. I will see you around. Go ahead and do something fun and creative for yourself. Do some journaling, even if it's only for 10 minutes. And I will see you next time. Take care.